Here's Hunter. How are you, Hunter? Looks like I got a whole one or two people watching. This is Buff's Garage. We're live from New Mexico. I'm just northeast of Roswell, New Mexico. So if you know where that's at on the map, it's at Portales. And I'm probably saying it wrong, but that's how I read it. And I'm here in the O'Reilly's parking lot with Brian Vantana. And even though I got a late start leaving Oklahoma, headed to Tucson, I found that Brian Vantana has been doing really well. And so I'm making good time, getting good gas mileage because it's still running the TBI for now. And I felt like I needed to stop and do some repairs. So obviously the 76 front end has been swapped into the 92, and a lot of the wiring does not match. So while I was at No Name Nationals, I went ahead and kind of rigged in the headlights so I had something to be able to drive to Lambert's and back. But the turn signals, parking lights up front don't work. The headlights have been kind of wired in to where they work, but they're not aimed correctly. And last night was kind of tough driving with the headlights misaligned, but made it to Amarillo last night, hoping to get closer to Tucson today. Obviously, I'm worried about going to Roswell and getting, taken away by some aliens. But for right now, I found that my phone will no longer accept any more pictures and video. So that's one of the reasons why I'm going live. So I have to hook up a 12 volt inverter to run the laptop, and I have two of them in the van, but I need to hook one of them up so that I have 110 AC going. So that's what I'm in the middle of right now, and then I'm going to work on these lights and then just do kind of an overhaul. I've also got some air shocks for the rear of Vantana because even though he did really well, I feel like he's sagging just a little bit in the back. And it wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for the front sticking up. I'm trying to read the comments. Stand by. Danny Boyd is here. I see Hunter still here. So you guys, if you're, hey Tony, great to see you guys at No Name Nationals. I appreciated all the support and just handshakes and hugs and everything. Look at that, there's Lars and JB. Well, for you guys that are just rolling in, I'm in New Mexico, headed to Tucson, Arizona for Duct Tape Drags. I got Brian Vantana with me. He's doing really well, but let's be clear, I have neglected the crap out of him. So I'm doing some fixes on the lights. Did I get any horsepower or what? Stand by. Let me look at that again. Oh, in the GTP, yes. Hunter gave me an awesome Grand Prix keychain. I will say that keychain, Hunter, is the reason why I beat my internet troll on the drag strip. Granted, he red lighted the first one, but I did actually, go race for race back and forth with him. And I felt like that keychain gave me that little extra boost to get over that finish line before him. But as for Vantana, working on the 76 front end, making all the lights work or best that I can, and putting in a 12 volt to 110 AC converter, and just general maintenance stuff that I probably should have done before, but didn't have time. Oh, and Vantana has no exhaust. His exhaust was basically rotting and falling off. So while at the event at No Name Nationals, I cut it off. And of course that made him louder and obnoxious, and at that event it was fun, but flying down the highway, it's less fun and kind of fumey. So I'm going to hunt around this part of New Mexico and see if I can't find a stick of exhaust, if nothing else, just to pipe it out from underneath the van. I don't have a lot of money for this trip, so I will scavenge and do what we do, which is turn other people's crap into our solutions. So right now, working on hooking up a ground for my inverter here. So if I miss a comment, hit it up again. I'll try to grab it in a minute. Gotta love O'Reilly's for letting me just kind of set up camp in their parking lot. Apparently 92 was the year where half of it's SAE and the other half is metric, because it's not SAE. Nice crew cab square body there. Looks like he's got all the horse torques. Yeah, I at least asked O'Reilly's ahead of time. Yeah, we got it. You got an exhaust. I asked them ahead of time. I was like, hey, is it all right if I just kind of park in your parking lot? And they're like, was this all the tools you need and parts and stuff? And I went, probably not. So just expect I'll be coming back and forth. And they were pretty cool about it. By the way, you want to have a good night's sleep? Sleep in the back of a Vantana, I'm telling you. He was nice and cozy. And even though it was really warm yesterday, because it's drier out here, I was able to open up those back windows, let the cool air in. It was downright chilly when I got up this morning. If you guys remember, I'm supposed to be meeting up with Pole Barn Garage. He went a different way. He stayed on 40 and headed towards the Grand Canyon. So they're doing a Grand Canyon day today. And I'm taking the shortcut down through Roswell and then into Tucson. So we'll end up probably meeting around the Tucson area. But I know Jay from Irish Outlaw Garage is basically a day and a half behind me. So once he's got his vehicle up and running and on the road, he should be catching up pretty quick. I think he's going to try to get in there by Friday. I will probably be there either tonight or tomorrow into Tucson. I'm kind of thinking about taking it slow and enjoying the route. checking out the alien situation in Roswell. That seems fun. Never been there, so it seems like it'd be a good time. Two Stall, hello sir. And yes, it is beautiful. I can't check my phone to tell you what the temp is, but I mean, it's not humid, that's for sure. It's warm, but not hot. Ooh, look at this, guys. Brian Vantana's brother. That's the long version. That can haul a lot of parts. All right, I'm gonna hook up my ground here. Hopefully it's a good ground spot. I will say this about the weather. I've been lucky because if you guys remember back when I first got Brian Vantana, the power windows didn't work. So what did I do? Instead of fixing them, I went ahead and fixed the AC. Right? That makes sense. Well, since the deer took out most of the AC, and for those of you that didn't go to No Name Nationals, I'll give you a closer look. See if you can see it. Yeah, so all of this air blower box for the heater, AC, everything was destroyed, including the overflow. So this is the overflow off my 63 Grand Prix. I do have another one available to me, but it's going to be a while before I can pick it up. The condenser was destroyed, and I did get a new condenser, but I didn't put it in, just thinking, why, when I don't even have a blower box? So Brian Vantana currently has no heat or AC. So we just open the windows and hope for the best. If I get a little cold, I can just open up the old doghouse and feel the warmth of the engine and the, exhaust in my face. Eventually, enough exhaust comes in, I won't need to worry about feeling warm or cold. Thank you, Danny Boyd. Yeah, I got lucky. Doing a little marketplace looking, and I believe, yeah, it was Dalton that actually sent me the link to these wheels. And I think I maybe paid $100 on those. And they were supposed to be 15 by 10s, which is exactly what I wanted. They end up being 15 by 8.5s. And even though it's stamped on the wheel, 15 by 8.5, the guy stood there and argued with me, and I just decided not to argue. I'd make them work. So Chad from Square Body Stuff and I pulled off the steel rims, reused the tires. These are 235, 75, 15 all-terrains on the front. And I believe, yep, 235, 75, 15, just passengers on the front. Sorry, I said this was the front. This is the back. These are the all-terrains on the back. And it didn't quite give us the poke out that we wanted, so I happened to have 2-inch spacers on the back, 1-inch spacers on the front. Everything worked. Nothing's rubbing, nothing's hitting. But I think because I got plenty of tools in the back, he's sagging a little. So I do have air shocks, and they're brand new. And if all of this goes well, I might do a little air shock swap right here in the parking lot. Because YouTube, I guess. But before I do that, I've got to clear off the phone and the camera because all the memory's full on both. And to do that, I need my laptop. To get my laptop, I need to get this inverter in. So that's what you guys are waiting for. Did you just talk about the burnout? Pretty sure that's what we're talking about. Yeah, Danny Boyd, they do look wide. I think they look really good. 235 on an 8.5 gives it that nice bulge on the side. I like that. It turned out better than I thought. This tire, however, seems to have lost some tread just on the one side. You know, not much you can do about that for those one-leggers. And let's see. Here's this guy up here. If you notice real close, look really close at that center cap. It's a Panther. Because Brian Vantana wears a certain cologne, and if you know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about Brian Fantana from the Anchorman movies. So we've got Panthers throughout. You guys might not have seen it at No Name, but they're definitely going to see it at Duct Tape Drags. I think I got... I even got custom floor mats. They're Panthers. Because Brian Vantana. And for those of you that missed the Instagram, Oxbeam sent me this awesome Pro Series 52-inch light bar, LED. I mean, this thing's massive. So if I have time after all the other repairs, I'm going to try to throw this on and get it hooked up on a little switch. Might have a switch in the bag or box, I don't know. But thank you, Oxbeam. They're actually going to pay me money in addition to this $300 light bar to mention their product. So we're going to do it now. And then we're going to do it later in another video. I'll probably do it in a short and in Instagram. And I have no shame in saying I'm finally to the point people are paying money, not just giving me free stuff. So thank you, Oxbeam. They even sent me a t-shirt, but I'm pretty proud of this one. So I'm going to wear it for now. All right, we got to hook up some power. You know, the one thing I wish they did with these conversion vans is create a distribution block for power. Just, I've got a tiny little fuse box, and then of course the vehicle's original fuse box, but there's no input output sources. It's all taken up. And if you know these side post batteries, there's nowhere to hook up power there. Not that I like to hook to the battery anyway. So I need a little distribution block, but I'll figure it out. See if I'm missing any comments. Decking it out. Well, sort of. Yeah, Danny Boyd, it's you know, Chevy Shorty van. It's full size. Shares a lot of the components with the C10 pickup. I'm hoping I can find parts when I need them. So far, so good. But yeah, I figured, I don't know about decking them out, but if they're going to send me a free light, I'm going to mount it to something. I thought it would look funny on the GTP, not saying I wouldn't do it, but that thing, oh yeah, it does have wiring in it. So this thing's massive. And probably quite bright. So I had some thoughts. You guys can chime in here. Obviously, I could go really dumb and try to figure out how to mount it on the roof. The problem with that is, when you put them on the roof, you get a lot of flash back in your face because that white light is now kind of behind you and above you. So another thought is, I've got this 1976 bumper on here, and that leaves a little bit of space underneath that I could probably mount it down under there. For the most part, you wouldn't see it, but when you flip it on, you're of course gonna see it. So that may be the route I go. You guys can comment below. I missed a chat. Oh yeah, Hunter, so we'll get a little closer look here. Back when I got the 82 Trans Am, I of course went to, I think it was wish.com. Now I use Temu, but Chinese is Chinese. And they sent me this, light that goes back and forth. And it had a little remote, and wouldn't you know it, I lost it somewhere at No Name. But when you turn it on, it'll scroll back and forth. And of course, I just wanted the Knight Rider red, but we were selecting around until we found a blue teal color, which is kind of the color of the van, and we just stuck with it. And so I hooked it into the high beam input. So I had low beams, but no high beams. And whenever I would flip it to high beam, my little Knight Rider light would come on for the burnout. I will put it back, but I'm gonna just use a regular toggle switch this time. Because I think if you're gonna be at Duct Tape Drags, you need to have a Knight Rider light. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, we're going for power. I'm hooking up this tried and true solar 1500 or 15,000X 500 watt power inverter. I've used it for a decade or more in my RV, and I figured Brian Vantana needs one. Now there's one that came with the van but not hooked up, and I don't know if it works or not. I know this one works, so we're going to try this one first, and we might hook up the other one permanently later. Yeah, Hunter, so if I had an external speaker that I could funnel it through, I've got all the sounds, the voices, everything from the TV show. There's a file online that I downloaded for the Trans Am build back in the day, because I wasn't sure which direction I was going with the Trans Am. But I thought, it's the internet, you never know if it's gonna be there later. So I downloaded the entire file, and it has pretty much every voice, everything going on with Knight Rider. Hey, Blake. I missed what you said, but I saw you pop up. Nothing's wrong with the van per se, but nothing's really right either. He's been doing good, getting good mileage because he's still TBI. I will fix that and ruin the mileage later, but for now, he's getting good mileage, driving great. He's a little loud because there's no exhaust, and the parking lights don't work. The headlights are not aimed correctly. Needs air shocks, which I have in the back, and maybe a 52-inch light bar that Auxbeam sent me, just because. I don't know. So I just went live to just kind of catch everybody up. Plus, my phone and my camera are both full, and I need to download it. To do that, I need power. So I'm currently hooking up power to my inverter and going from there. So you guys are just kind of hanging out. before I lose you all, either to a dead phone or boredom, just want to thank everybody for all the support you guys gave me, not just before the event, but during No Name Nationals, and of course, what you're still doing by watching this video. It's you guys know, it's been a long road, and it takes a lot to get there. I am definitely humbled by the amount of support I got, and I hope I do you guys proud at Duct Tape Drags. I don't know what we're gonna do, but hanging with Dalton, who knows? We're probably gonna end up breaking something or stealing something, or I don't know. We're gonna have fun. That's the main thing. But like I said before, I'm supposed to meet up with him, but he is hanging out at Grand Canyon, and as much as it is beautiful, I just saw it last year, and it's still a canyon. So I will let him do his family thing today, and hopefully meet up with him and Cody, JD tomorrow. And I know Irish Outlaw Garage is supposed to be following up real quick. He's supposed to be right behind me, about a day behind. So what I want to add to that is you guys support those channels. Obviously Dalton's got a big following, and we're really proud of him for getting there, because that's a huge accomplishment. He was around where I'm at last year, which that's promising, right? But you know, Jay from Irish Outlaw Garage has toiled away, spent his life savings, his kids' college funds, everything he can to make YouTube work. He was trucking yesterday so that he could leave for this event, I believe today. So if you haven't checked out Irish Outlaw Garage, go click on him, watch some videos, get him some money coming in from YouTube. Heck, give him a super chat or a membership or something. Just anything you can to help out. We're not asking for the moon, but if you watch a video, that supports what we do, and we appreciate it. I got a new soldering iron I'm playing with. I like my old ones, but the igniter isn't working because I use the crap out of them. Now I have to figure out how to make this one work. Aha! All right, a little bit more confusing than my other one, but I'll make it work. Yeah. This one's a Benzomatic. I got a few others that I actually prefer the other ones. Let me see what brand they are. These two are my Master Ultra Torches. If I can fix the igniters on them, I'm just going to keep using these. But a subscriber sent me a gift card to Lowe's, and I appreciate that. That was awesome. And I bought a new tool kit that I found on sale, and I bought myself another one of these just because it's always good to have a backup. Nothing wrong with butt connectors, and I don't want to hear all this, you can't solder in a car or a boat or whatever. It's fine. It works just fine. I prefer it. I feel like it works faster, more reliable. And if the connection breaks that's fine. We'll just fix it real quick. But whereas butt connectors, it happens, they break too. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. Part of the old setup, we don't need that anymore. If I'm missing comments, guys, I apologize. Oh my goodness, Eric's in the house. Destroyer 1320. With any luck, I'll be hanging out with Eric soon. What are you up to today, Eric? Let's see comments again. Yeah, Tony, it was a good one, but there was a lot going on. Yeah, Destroyer, I tried to get a camp pass and apparently missed out. So I don't know where I'm camping, but I mean, anywhere you park's a camping spot for Brian Vantana. Yeah, Tony, it was a long drive for us, but I say long, it wasn't that long. We just had to go to Oklahoma, so you probably just went right through on your way. But then, knowing that Vantana was broke, I tried to get the parts. Nobody had them near me. I should have networked on the way and got parts. So I ended up getting them the next day, and then in the process, Vantana wouldn't start. Turns out the distributor cap is pretty much cap and rotor toast. But since I'm switching to a non-computer controlled distributor out of a Mercruiser, I didn't want to spend the $12 for a new cap. So I spent the morning sanding and cleaning the corrosion inside the cap and the rotor. But they're both pretty worn. At some point, it just makes sense to replace it, but I'm an idiot, so I'm not going to do that. I'll just switch the distributor out for the Mercruiser one and then just throw the carburetor on it, pressure, fuel pressure regulator, all that kind of stuff. So don't buy a $12 part to fix the problem. Just completely swap it over to carb and probably spend 10 times as much. That makes so much more sense, and that's probably what I'll do. All right, I don't like this one as much, but I'm not gonna rag on it. Definitely working. Yep, getting hot. Get a little bit of solder going. That did the job. I just love it when iPhone dims. Hello, 6%. Yeah, I've actually been camping in the van for this trip because why wouldn't you? It's got a fully, reclining couch bed thing in the back, and it's not so hot that I'm gonna die. It's actually quite cool at night, and the further I get out into the desert, it's gonna get downright chilly. So sleeping in the van, it's cheaper. If I start to smell like a homeless man, I can always hit a truck stop shower or just, bathe in a pond somewhere. I don't know. I'm not too good to stop off and get clean in a dirty ditch, I'm like every hot rod guy. I got enough t-shirts to last me until next year without ever washing one. Well, in theory. Theory failed. Do we know that's a good power source? Let's try the NoCo boost. Okay, so we don't have a good power source. let's figure that out. It's background. That's the problem with working on somebody else's junk, is you end up with stuff that doesn't work right. If I were smart, I would have put a meter on it first, so let's do that. So that works. How come we're not getting power here? If it's not power, it's always ground, right? Let's check that. Yep, it wasn't the power, it was the ground. So just always go back and check your connections. It's either power or ground, right? And I had the power. I used my little test light. This little thing's cool. Jacob from Busted Grill Garage, he used it when we worked on Big Booty Judy. And I've never seen these before. I've always used the ones that you end up poking your finger and it's a pain in the butt. But this came with a toolbox that I bought at a garage sale, and it has a little trigger activated poker right in there, and so you just put your wire in there, you give it a poke, this is hooked to ground, it should light up, and it did. So we knew we had power, we just didn't have ground. The funny stuff you find. Nathan, no, the van's not broken. I'm just taking the moment to, I guess, address some things that probably should be fixed and aren't. It's not that it needed it, but you know, you guys, some of you guys really meticulously work on your cars until they are in perfect working order. I don't. I get in it, and if it starts, I drive it. And hopefully it makes it. And if it breaks down, then I stop and I fix it. But stupid me, I decided to take a few moments to actually try to do some maintenance, preventative maintenance. Yeah, it's weird to me. I'm not sure, but most of all, I have to empty the phone of all of its pictures. I have to empty the camera of all of its files. And to do that, I need the laptop. To do the laptop, I need a power inverter. And we now have one. So all of this was to watch me do that for now. Next, I'm going to go work on these headlights. Well, parking lights. At least until the phone overheats. Yeah, that works. So when I did the 76 front end swap off the RV from Dudes with Wrenches, I had all of the plugs and harnesses and everything to make it work. And of course I left those. I didn't bring them because I'm an idiot. But I got the headlights and the low beam, high beam, all that working, but they're not aimed very well. So once it gets dark, we'll do that. But the parking lights and the turn signals down here don't work, which probably going to get me pulled over at some point. And with this particular area of the world, I might end up in a cage or a cell somewhere. So I'm going to just go ahead and try to address those and try to figure them out, because the one thing with the 92 is it had a parking light bulb and then it had a turn signal bulb. They were two separate things. In 76, the bulb was all one. So I'm sure we can figure this out. Tighten this one too well. You know, for 1976 lenses, these are pretty nice. In good shape. Looks like my phone's starting to overheat. If I lose you guys, just head on over to Instagram and follow all the little activities on there. But, oh yeah. It is an SAE IP 69. Because Ryan Bantana. All right, this says Toshiba 1157. So I can't even talk. It does have two filaments. So the assumption is the ground is just the vehicle's ground. So we're gonna have to fix that by running it to the housing itself. And then we'll have our two inputs for each filament coming in. Now we just have to figure out which one's which. Unless you guys know. I'll let you know what colors I have, because you guys are experts. Oh, that's super helpful. It's purple and black. Yeah, that's it. Let's try this side. Also purple and black. So which one's which? I'd look it up, but I'm live, so I can't. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm finding, Danny Boyd, unless you go LED, and then there's issues with that. Did I see John? Hello, John Wilburn. Got to talk to him today. He's recovering from No Name National, so give him a break, guys. He put on a hell of a show for us. And yeah, let's give him a little time to recover. I don't know about you guys, but No Name Nationals was a lot of fun. For everybody that made it, you got to be part of the show. And for those that didn't, that's okay. You can watch it on YouTube for the next several months, because we're going to be putting out videos that whole time. But you know, John Wilburn can put on a party, that's for sure. Okay. I guess the right thing to do is to figure out which one does which. least there's plenty of room in here. That's sarcasm. Alright, that's what's left of Brian Van Ten's bulb. It had an 8057. No, 3057. What am I thinking? What is it? 3057. Yep. And he's got a double filament bulb with 3 wires going into it. That's awesome. And my 1976 stuff has a whole 2 wires. So I think what I'm going to have to do is get on the old webs and figure out the 1976 parking light housing only has 2 inputs. Are those both the parking light and the turn signal, and then the ground is just the chassis ground, which would make sense for 76? Or is it all feeding through 1 wire like some vehicles did? I think I saw a comment. Okay, so it's not black, it's blue and purple. Now which one's which? I see you wrote blue and purple, which is awesome. House electric, yeah, that's always fun. Cousin Mike's made it. Left is blue and purple, and right is dark blue and purple. All right, so one would assume then purple would be the parking light. I hate to assume. Purple is common. Are you using common as ground or common as in the parking light? Okay, all right. We're on the same page then, Eric. I was kind of going with that because I have been doing electrical stuff on cars since I was 14 with an official, college education doing that. And of course, got bored and became a paramedic, and I'm an idiot. I should have just stayed with this. And yeah, so I guess we're going to wire up some lights. See what I can do. Wouldn't you know it, in 1992, the common, or the parking light hot, is purple with a black stripe. GM just, sometimes they do stuff that makes sense. I'll give them this one. right. Just coming back to check the chats. Oh, you guys are troubleshooting. I love that about this group. I just want to be humble enough to say that I raced Hunter's Pontiac and lost in a 1998 supercharged GTP. His Pontiac's got a little kick to it. So all those people saying modern EFI and all that's a better way to go, Hunter beat me. There was a guy with a Geo Metro with a 3800 that was turbocharged. Obviously he had the weight going for him versus what I did, but yeah, he flat out just smoked me 2 seconds faster. But it was fun. All right, Mike. Sun gets any warmer, I'm gonna have to get the tent out. I'm sure O'Reilly's would just love that. Some guy getting a tent in their parking lot. Yeah, we hear you. Well, is anybody still watching? A few of you. Hey, thanks, Skip. Appreciate you. You guys are still talking dome lights. That's awesome. At some point we can troubleshoot Brian Vantana's lights. He's got those fancy party lights, which I personally just love, but the old party lights, they only come on with the switch. They're not coming on with the door. So we'll look into that. I'm sure it's just a bad door switch. Beauty. Well, I know we're helping Hunter, and I don't want to stop that, but I'm just going to show you guys what I'm doing here. Let's get this angle just right. So, I went ahead and added some connectors here. Those should push right on to the 1976 factory connectors that are coming out of the light. And then my factory harness for the 92 has a ground, whereas this light housing does not. So we're going to find out all the contact points on that light, and we're going to ground somewhere near that. And then let's hope that's what it needs. So yeah, there goes nothing. Almost be easier from underneath. Let's see. Rewrap this. It's tight in here. This was probably going to be a lot easier when I had it all apart, but I'm an idiot and I didn't worry about it. Starting to warm up pretty good. Anybody still watching? All right, ladies, that's why you pick yourself a car guy. I just assembled that harness with one hand without looking. I mean, that's value added. Yeah, that's in there. Now we're gonna ground this. And hope that that's what this needs. Little ground. We may have to ground it completely on the actual housing, but for now, we'll ground it up top here and see if that gives us light. Yeah, Hunter, I agree. Definitely love the grill. Air shocks are going on, Skip, as soon as I get all this done. Eric knows what I'm talking about. All right, well, my phone is about to overheat. I can feel it. It's already done it once, and it dropped my overall battery percentage down to 92% max. So the most it'll ever get to is 92%. And you would love to think that a $1,500, $1,800 phone, whatever it is, would do better than that. But it is really, really hot. So guys, I will finish this up. I will try to catch everybody up on Instagram. I can't post on every platform all the time, so I'm just kind of hitting Instagram. It auto loads onto Facebook, so you can catch me on Instagram or Facebook. But I will keep you guys informed on where I end up. If I end up in Roswell sometime today, you may not hear from me again. I may get picked up by an alien and off I go, and that's just okay. Don't go look for me. I'm probably fine. I think there's movies from the 60s and 70s about guys being taken away in spaceships of aliens, and some of those are pretty good. Some of those are pretty scary. But either way, I'll catch you guys all up on Instagram. I will be headed to Tucson, and make sure you tune in for all that action. Hit up Pole Barn Garage because I'll be hanging with him. Looks like Eric from Destroyer 1320 will be there. And of course, Jay from Irish Outlaw Garage. So until then, guys, we'll catch you later.